You know, I never thought I'd see the day, but ever since Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 got announced, I decided that I'm gonna go back, lock in, and get the Platinum Trophy for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 and Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. And as of yesterday, I accomplished it. It's so weird because in technicality, this would be 11 years in the making for Xenoverse 1 and 10 years in the making for Xenoverse 2. But I had the urge to go and get those platinum trophies because I'm excited for Xenoverse 3. And I felt like going into Xenoverse 3 without fully completing Xenoverse 1 and 2, it felt wrong. So I had to at least make sure I would go and get those platinum trophies. Now I wish I had like a whole like segment where I can just like cut straight to gameplay and just have all the gameplay speak for itself, but I went about this as a gamer, not a content creator. So I was kind of just going about it, doing my thing, and I decided between the two games, the one that I'm gonna focus on first was Xenoverse 2 because it had the most trophies left out in comparison to Xenoverse 1. So I went back to Xenoverse 2 and I started focusing and trying to figure out which trophies I can knock out the quickest and then which one is going to take me the longest to try to knock out. Now, with Xenoverse 2, the trophies in that game actually aren't too bad. They're really not difficult at all. It's just time consuming. So because of that, some of the trophies I had to get was one called The Bad Guys Always Wear the Coolest Clothes. And with that one, I had to go around and make sure I got like all the clothes, accessories, and even super souls. And for a moment, I thought I'd have to go into parallel quests and try to get them in there. But when I started this, apparently I was already at I think 200 and something out of 306. So I'm like, okay, this actually isn't too bad. I'm not gonna have to do that much work. So I went back and bought practically every clothing item I could. I bought every accessory I could, and then I bought every super soul that I could up to the point where it unlocked the trophy. Because I believe some of the stuff that are in the shops are from DLC, which none of the DLC content counts towards the base game content at all. So I had to make sure the things I was buying was base game content. Otherwise, I'd still be on the hunt to try to get some of that stuff. But hey, I ended up getting that trophy, which was pretty cool. And now I'm one step closer towards getting that plat. The next one that really threw me for a loop was the mentors. Now, the thing with mentors is it's not hard, but mentors, there's the total training level. And if you're able to max that out, then you can just train with anybody, right? You don't have to worry about doing certain things in order to get to their next quest or anything of the sort. As long as that gauge is maxed, you can train with anybody and go through all of their lessons in one go. So since I already had that maxed out many years ago, literally a decade ago at this point, I was able to just go through the mentors and just knock out all their training sessions and get the trophy as well. But it's time consuming only because of the fact that you have to go through every single mentor. Now, I had a few done, but practically a majority of them from the base game anyway, I didn't do. So I had to go back, I had to find Goku, I had to find Tien, I had to find all sorts of people, like Gotenks and Frieza and Dodoria, all sorts of people to go and get that trophy knocked out. Again, it wasn't hard, it was just time consuming. Of course, there were other trophies that I needed to get too, but when it came down to the very last trophy I needed before the platinum, that one was the one that took the absolute most time. So the trophy is called Over Here Slowpoke, and in order to get that trophy, you have to get all of the base game awoken skills for all of the races in the game. Now, with me, I led off with Frieza race, and I've always done that since Xenoverse 1, but I didn't know that the Frieza race awoken skill turned golden is actually the most difficult one to get. I think it was either something like it takes too long to get or something of the sort, but that difficulty's lost on me because I got that awoken skill when Xenoverse 2 came out. So I don't personally realize how difficult it is to get, right? But I did also make a Saiyan, and I believe I made a Saiyan when Super Saiyan Blue released. So I didn't have much to do with the Saiyan because they're already relatively leveled up. I went through parts of the story, so there wasn't much to really worry about. So getting Super Saiyan, which also gives you Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3, wasn't too bad. Because you got to go back to Capsule Corps and you have to, talk to Vegeta, then you talk to Bulma, then you talk to Trunks, and talk back to Vegeta. But luckily, you don't have to worry about Super Vegeta. They don't count that. So all you had to do is just get Super Saiyan, which gets you Super Saiyan 2 and 3, and that's it. You're done with Saiyan. So that's good. But if I were to exclude Saiyan and Frieza race, the other three in order from the most difficult to the most easiest would be Namekian, then Earthling, and then Majin. Because Namekian, you got to do parallel quests in order to progress that to be able to get, the Turn Giant skill, right? Because you have to do 3 parallel quests and then go back to Guru's house, fight to protect Namek, and then go back and do 3 more parallel quests, go back to Namek, and then go 3 more, parallel quests, and then go back. It's a whole lot of back and forth. Too much to just get a transformation. But eventually, I did get it, and that was the end of that. With the Earthling, I don't think it was too difficult. I just needed to get to level 35. And then, which luckily, since Tosak is a thing, I was able to just boost all the way to 35 with Zenny, and I had millions of Zenny. So I was able to knock that out pretty quick. But the absolute easiest one is Majin and getting Purification, because all you gotta do is feed Boo. That's it. You do have to go to a certain point of the story. You will have to do the tutorial parallel quest, and then after that you can pick either Saiyan Saga or Frieza Saga, whichever one. Just knock out one of those, then they talk to you about time miniatures. Go to whichever one that you need for your your CAC, and then that's when you're able to get their Awoken skill. And with Boo, I had so much chocolate and candy, I just fed it to Boo 3 times and got Purification after fighting it. It was the easiest thing in the world. But once I ended up getting those Awoken skills, I was good. I got over here Slowpoke, and shortly after, I ended up getting the Platinum Trophy for Xenoverse 2. Bye-bye Xenoverse, which is insane. Never thought I'd see the day, but here we are. Honestly, I could have gotten this Platinum Trophy years ago, but it still is nice knowing that with these trophies, everything felt like it was within our control. Now, note that I'm mentioning the word control, and there's a very specific reason why. Because now that we're done with Xenoverse 2, we gotta go back to Xenoverse 1, and the word control doesn't exist in that game. See, with Xenoverse 1, there was only 3 trophies that I was missing. The trophies to complete your training with all the mentors, which I only had 1 mentor left, and then getting all the super attacks and all the ultimate attacks. Now, you would think on paper, that doesn't sound too bad. Surely you can knock that out maybe within a sitting or 2. No, with Xenoverse 1, again, control means absolutely nothing, because everything in that game is RNG. To put things into perspective, with the mentors, I was only missing 1, which was Android 18. All I have to do is just knock out her training sessions, and then I would get the trophy. Doesn't sound bad on paper, except that in Toki Toki City, you running into any of the mentors is completely RNG based. 100%. They're not all chilling outside like how they are in Kanton City. In Toki Toki City, you had to make sure that they spawn, and there's 3 areas of the entire city. So that means after maybe you reset the city by going into a parallel quest and backing out or something, you have to run throughout the entire city to ensure that the person is either there or not. And if they're there, you can talk to them and have them become your mentor. If they're not, you gotta go back into a parallel quest or some menu to get you out of the city, then exit to refresh the city and start the process all over again. Oh my goodness, bro. I think it took me 30 minutes just to find 18 alone. But once I found her, I was finally able to lock in and knock out her missions. Now again, boosting up the friendship with your mentors in Xenoverse 1 isn't too bad. Just hop into a parallel quest, select your 2 allies as your mentor, use their moves, knock out some missions, and the gauge will build relatively quick. So once I got her as a mentor, knocking out that trophy wasn't too hard. It's just everything that came after that was brutal. It was now time to get all of the super attacks and the ultimate attacks, and I was not looking forward to any of this. OGs of Dragon Ball Xenoverse, y'all know how tedious the process is, so y'all know the struggle. But with Xenoverse 1, in order to get all of those moves, you have to buy everything from the shop, get everything from transformations, all that stuff. All of the easy stuff, you gotta get that out of the way, right? Including knocking out the base game mentors as well, because they do give you moves. But you also have to do parallel quests. That's where everything becomes an absolute pain, because with parallel quests, everything is RNG. It doesn't matter what rank you get, it doesn't matter how many times you try, you can get the absolute perfect run of a parallel quest and get absolutely nothing. That's what makes it difficult. Not to mention that you also have to get the Dragon Balls and get the wishes knocked out too for the ultimate attacks and the super attacks, which luckily I had most of that done. So I just had to get the Dragon Balls 2 more times and then go back and get the wishes knocked out, which wasn't bad at all. But it's just those parallel quests, man. I spent days, not hours, like not minutes, I spent days trying to get all those moves. And luckily, I realized that I must have attempted this like in the past as well, because with parallel quests, you have missions from 1 star all the way up to 7 star. And I had all the 7-star missions done already. I had all the moves. So I'm like, cool, I don't have to worry about the most difficult missions in the game, right? I can just kind of cruise with some of the missions, right? So with me, I always like to work backwards, right? I like to get the most difficult things done first and then knock out the easiest ones last, right? But in this particular case with RNG, I really needed some help. For those who don't know, when we got the update that added Elder Kai as a mentor, 1, that's what gave us Potential Unleashed. But 2, he also reads your fortune every now and then. And those fortunes can determine whether or not your RNG for parallel quests will be normal, boosted, or practically guaranteed. The issue with that is it's RNG based, which means you have RNG within RNG. When it comes to getting any of the moves, the one thing you're gonna want Elder Kai to tell you is there's a golden fruit, because if there is, you are practically guaranteed to get practically something or everything, right? And a majority of times for me, that's what happened. I got practically everything, except for one instance where I got 2 of the 3 moves and I had to go back at it again once I got another golden fruit. But it took so long. You have to reset Toki Toki City so many times. And if he tells you, oh, like, it's cloudy, I can't really see, your rates are normal, you might as well just keep on refreshing Toki Toki City till you get a nice looking fruit, or the best option, a golden fruit. It took far too long, bruh. However, it did get to a point where I was doing parallel quests a lot, and then suddenly, I am only 1 ultimate attack away from getting the trophy, but I couldn't figure out what it was at the time until I remembered something. In Xenoverse 2, transformations have their own dedicated spot. In Xenoverse 1, transformations count as an ultimate attack. It doesn't have its own dedicated slot. And because of that, I saw the one move I was missing in order to get that trophy, full superpower. And that move was Super Vegeta 2. That was all I was missing. I had all the actual attacks, I just didn't have the final transformation. So once I got Super Vegeta 2, I finally got the All Ultimate Attacks trophy, full superpower. We're so close to victory. We are right there. All we need is 1 more trophy. The trophy of getting all of the super attacks in the game. And at this point, again, I've cleared out the shop, I've done the training with the mentors, and I've knocked out the super attacks that you could get from Dragon Balls. All I had to do was finish up the rest of the parallel quests. And at this point, I think the only ones I was missing was around 5-star and 6-star. I did 7-star apparently years ago, and I knocked out 1 through 4 stars. I just needed 5 and 6. And I had a few that was giving me a lot of issues. There was one parallel quest where you have to deal with Vegito. That was interesting because you have to keep Super Buu up to a certain level of health. It was a pain. There was one with Goten and Trunks where I really had to get Goten to drop a specific move. He just wouldn't do it. There was one where you have to, I think, fight like 30 like small Majin Buus. It was all over the place. However, I finally got to that point. Specifically with the Majin Buu parallel quest, that was the very last one I needed in order to be able to get that trophy. I think the move was Innocence Bullet, but if I got a nice looking fruit, it was never dropping, right? I had to make sure I was going to get the golden fruit. And the moment Elder Kai was like, hey bruh, golden fruit. When I tell you I hopped into that parallel quest with the swiftness, so I figured this is it. All I have to do is knock out this quest. If I want to be like super safe, just get an ultimate finish and I'm practically good to go. So I did exactly that. I locked in, knocked out all those Majin Boos, got the requirements to start the ultimate finish, knocked out the last Majin Buu, which was actual Majin Buu, and I finally got that last trophy, full ultimate power. And shortly after, I got the Platinum Trophy, If You Show Me Your Courage. And with that, I finally got the Platinum Trophies for both Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 and Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Man, it was insane getting those trophies. Like, I really just sat down in this chair and just played those games for hours on end. It does also give me like a special type of appreciation for the Xenoverse series as well, because you can tell like how much time and effort they put into like really adding a ton of content into both of these games, right? And note that those trophies were just base game stuff. But with Xenoverse 3, it does have me kind of excited to see what they're gonna have in store for all of us in that game. I hope that there's tons of content like in the base game. I'm also excited for the DLC, but now that I've fully trained myself in the art of Xenoverse, I think I should also try to get that Platinum Trophy as well. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys about my journey getting the Platinum Trophies for both Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2. Again, I wasn't really planning on making a video of this, so if this video seems kind of scuffed, I apologize. But at the very least, it felt special, especially with Xenoverse 2 coming to an end very soon. So at the very least, I should pay respects to both games and get the Platinum Trophies. But I do want to know what you guys thought about this in the comment section below, and I also want to know if you guys were also able to get the Platinum Trophies for both Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2, or if you at least got a Platinum Trophy for one of the games. Again, let me know in the comment section below. With that being said, I'm Ndukauba, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.